What is going on, everybody? It is Friday, November the 12th, and that means it's time for my news radar. So let's start off this episode with something really quite strange. I'm sure all of you are perfectly aware that the iPhone does not use USB Type-C. This is, of course, the standard that every other device on planet Earth uses, from the Nintendo Switch to my Surface Pro 7 to my Surface Duo 2 and every other Android phone. We all use USB Type-C, but of course Apple, being Apple, has switched to USB-C on every other device. Their iPads are now beginning to use USB-C as well. USB-C or Thunderbolt is now on their MacBooks and so forth, but the iPhone still uses their own proprietary cable, confounding, dumbfounding, confusing for all of us who are fans of tech. And it looks as though there are some legal proceedings in the EU which may actually force Apple into switching to the standard that we all already use. But this story is slightly tangentially different from that, because this guy here on YouTube, Kenny Pie, I'm assuming Pi is in 3.14, blah, 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 made a fully functional USB-C iPhone. Now, this is just a short video here that he made it, but as you can see here, that is a USB-C port on the bottom of an iPhone. Now, this is already pretty cool in and of itself, just in terms of an engineering project, just a cool thing that he managed to do. And of course, this video has 1.5 million views, but the story gets even stranger from there. I would recommend you check out his YouTube channel because there's a lot of stuff in here about this. In fact, if I go back, he's got a video 10 days ago where I believe he actually breaks down kind of the project itself and how he managed to get this to work. Very, very interesting stuff. But what's fully insane about this is that he put this iPhone on eBay and it sold for $86,000. And I've been trying all morning to wrap my head around why that would be the case, why anyone would buy this thing for $86,000. And I just can't quite figure it out. I don't understand. Now, look, there's a chance that here in a couple of years, all iPhones will be USB Type-C. So maybe it's just like I'm a big Apple fan and I wanted to have the first one. I guess maybe, but $86,000? People clearly have far more disposable income than I do or something. All in all, just a really strange news story. Congratulations to Kenny over here for making $86,000 off of your engineering project. What do you guys think about Apple using lightning cables still to this point? Does that make a difference to you? Is that something that frustrates you if you are an iPhone user? Are you looking forward to the days of USB-C? Would you pay $86,000 to have that ability to do the thing that every Android phone can already do? Weird news story. What do you guys think? Now, jumping over to the wild and wonderful world of Microsoft, we actually have a brand new Surface product to talk about. Now, this one I've been rumored here for a little bit, and it's going to try to fill a niche that I've talked about here. I've long been a proponent of Chromebooks. I think that they're really, really good, and you add Android app compatibility, and they become great. My wife uses one all the time, lately as an ebook reader, strangely enough. But look, you got a great web browser, they boot really fast, you're not going to get a ton of viruses, and you have Android apps, touchscreen, they're portable, they're cheap, and they're great for education. And that is what we're targeting here with this brand new product called the Surface Laptop SE. This thing is going to be meant to be deployed into schools and things like that, but also purchased by, families who need a laptop, a cheap laptop for their young kids to be able to use and to be able to take to school and turn in assignments, because e-learning is now just the way that things are going. Kids just use computers for school. It's weird that it took a pandemic to fully push that reality into the world today, but that is where we are now. So we've got a trailer here about exactly what we're talking about. And like I said, this is the new Surface Laptop SE. It is $250. I think it actually looks quite nice. Of course it does. It's a Surface product. All Surface products look quite nice to me. It is running Windows 11 SE. Let's jump back here real quick and we'll pause it right here. the cloud-first Windows 11 SE. And basically, this is a stripped-down version of Windows 11. This isn't Windows 10X. This isn't some crazy forked version of Windows 11, as far as I can tell. It's just stripped down a little bit because this thing does not have really incredible hardware. They basically pulled out, yanked out all the stuff that you aren't going to need for teaching your youngins how to read and do the arithmetic and so forth and so on. So that's what we have here. You've got plenty of ports. You got a headphone jack, USB-A, USB-C, and a barrel charging port, strangely enough. So what that means is no magnetic surface charging connector. Quite strange. Easy to repair using common tools. I would say that that's a star bit. So not super common. Not everybody has one of those hex bits laying around, but whatever. Easier to repair. Looks like a pretty nice fully featured keyboard to be able to use. And like I said, this thing's, you can see here exactly what this thing was meant for. It's meant to be, in this Microsoft world here where every child has a Surface Laptop SE. That's what they're hoping for us to get to. Whereas now, most kids, like this exact thing, are using Chromebooks. But Microsoft used to own this exact segment of the market, and they're going to be trying really hard now to grab that back. And at $250, I think this is actually a pretty decent step in that direction. It's going to remain to be seen, though, if this actually does anything in terms of cracking back into the market that they once owned, that Chromebooks now totally dominate. The Verge here has some specs for this $250 device. You have a 1366 by 768 resolution. It's 16 by 9, which I don't love, but again, I'm sure that probably made it cheaper. It's probably a cheaper panel to get a hold of than the 3x2s that have been used for so long. And then also, they talked a lot about how they're splitting two apps side by side. Like we now have the Snap menu on Windows 11. Like you see in the top corner, there are all these different, that's half cut off, but all these different layouts. Well, on SE, you just get side by side. So maybe that has something to do with the 16 by 9. I'm not sure there. That's probably a bit of a reach. Intel Celeron processor here. 4 or 8 gigs of RAM, 64 or 128 of eMMC storage. This thing is not going to be particularly fast. But again, Windows 11 SE is meant to accommodate for that kind of lackluster hardware. Talking about Windows 11 SE, it's not going to be sold separately according to Ars Technica. If you do decide to take your Surface Laptop SE and take off Windows 11 SE and put full fat Windows 11 on there for some reason, I guess to see if you can make it really, really slow, you're not going to be able to just download SE and put it back on there. If you do this, you've just taken it off and you're not going to get it back. Apparently, I do expect this to probably not be true in the long run because we always wind up with ISOs of things like this, and we'll probably be able to do it in kind of a hacky way. But this isn't something they're going to, go to Best Buy and buy, a flash drive with Windows 11 SE on it. And let's close things out with some Surface Duo news. A lot of you guys and gals were concerned that after I moved on to the Surface Duo 2 that I would stop talking about the Surface Duo 1, which is back there, and that is not the case. I will still be talking about Surface Duo 1 because it is still important, because a lot of my viewers do still have their Surface Duo 1, so of course I'm going to continue covering that, don't worry. And in fact, we did just get an update for the Surface Duo 1, and I wish I could bring you more exciting news than this, but I can't, because this update is another security patch. So another month has come and gone with no Android 11. And guys, they have said they were shooting to get this out, Android 11, on Surface Duo 1 by year's end. Well, it is now November the 11th when this came out, the 12th when you are watching this, and we still do not have Android 11. So year's end is coming up very, very rapidly. And I think a lot of us are beginning to really feel over the failed promises. Now, look, they may get this thing out before the year's end. It may be December 31st at 11:59:59, but they may still get this thing out by year's end. So I don't want to necessarily say that they lied, but it is looking more and more like another failed mile marker, another failed promise here for Surface Duo fans. We were supposed to have Android 11 by the summer. Summer came and went. It is fully fall, winter. We've missed it by a mile. And this is something that is absolutely unacceptable. People did buy Surface Duo. Now, it wasn't a ton of us, but it did get purchased. And I can tell you that, my Surface Duo 2 runs a lot better than the original. I don't know how much of this is Android 11, but I would love to find out. I would love to get this software pushed over to that old hardware and to see if it is a considerable improvement, how much that was software and the improvement on Duo 2. But we just don't know yet because Microsoft just hasn't delivered. And guys, we have to hold them accountable on this. If they fail to get this out by year's end, we need to be loud and we need to be obnoxious about this because this is unacceptable for a device that we paid $1,400 for this to be going on, for us to still be lagging this far behind. Android 12, albeit buggy as hell and not running very well on a lot of Pixel devices, it's out. It's available. 12L has been announced, right? And that's probably being worked on right now for Duo 2, and Duo 1 still lags behind with Android 10. Now, you may be saying, I don't care about Android 11. It's not got that many new features in it. Really not a big deal to me. It's the principle of this, right? Because Android 11 may come out and it may solve no problems at all, which would be somehow even more disappointing, right? If it comes out and it just isn't anything worth talking about, that would be really crazy because then what on earth took so long to get it here? But, for those of you that don't really care about Android 11, it's not even the fact that it's Android 11. It's the principle of this. It's the fact that we paid so much money for this device, and Microsoft has left us twisting in the wind, as they say. It is absolutely unacceptable, and they have to do better because so many Duo 1 buyers are not going to buy Duo 2 no matter how much I tell them that it's improved, that it's better, because they're going to say to me, Shane, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, and I won't be fooled twice. And I can't blame them for that at all. In fact, it makes almost no sense for people like me to buy Duo 2 knowing what happened with Duo 1. Yet here I am clearly suffering from some sort of mental illness, some sort of progressively degenerative disease in my brain for having bought Duo 2, which I do currently love and I do think is much better than the original. But why would I take such a risk like that? I fully understand why so many of you have chosen to take the wait and see approach. Guys, that's all the news I have for you today. Be sure to check back every Monday and Friday for the next News Radar. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.